Are you real? Is the world around you authentic or an elaborate charade? Before you dismiss this as a premise of a science fiction movie, let's venture into a thought-provoking possibility that has perplexed some of the most brilliant minds of our era, that our universe, our world, our very selves might not be as real as we perceive them to be. Instead, we could be players in a sophisticated cosmic game, a meticulously designed simulation of life. Pause and consider this for a moment. Each day, you wake up, perform your routine, interact with others, engage with the world around you, and retire for the day. Now, what if all of these were mere representations in a computer program, a complex piece of code running on a quantum computer belonging to a higher form of intelligence? What if your memories, your emotions, your experiences are all pre-programmed? This isn't a dystopian fantasy. This is a serious proposition put forth by esteemed scientists and philosophers. Although we lack concrete proof, a string of intriguing evidences and theoretical postulations suggest that we might be living in a simulation, a virtual reality more advanced and comprehensive than anything we can currently conceive. While some might find this idea unsettling, it's an incredibly exciting proposition, opening a door to a world that defies the constraints of our physical existence. This isn't about undermining our experiences or reducing life to lines of code, it's about exploring the fundamental nature of reality itself, pushing the boundaries of what we believe is possible. The double-slit experiment and the universe's processing power. Consider an enigma that has left physicists both awestruck and baffled for more than a century, the double-slit experiment. This mind-bending quantum phenomenon demonstrates that particles, such as photons or electrons, can simultaneously exist in multiple states, until observed. The double-slit experiment involves shooting particles at a screen through two slits. Without observation, these particles form an interference pattern on the screen, as though they traveled through both slits simultaneously and behaved like waves. However, the moment we try to observe which slit the particle actually went through, the interference pattern collapses, and the particle behaves as though it only went through one slit. It's as if these particles exist in a state of probabilistic flux, solidifying into a single state only when observed. Now, consider the world of computer gaming. To optimize performance and conserve processing power, games only render the details that the player is currently viewing or interacting with. If an object or area is not directly observed or interacted with, it is kept in a simplified, unprocessed state. This is eerily similar to the behavior of particles in the double-slit experiment. Could it be that our universe, with its vast expanse, is conserving its processing power in a similar fashion? Are the fundamental constituents of our reality, the subatomic particles, remaining in a state of superposition until observed, just like unrendered aspects of a computer game? The mathematical fabric of the universe. One of the most intriguing aspects of our universe is its fidelity to a set of precise mathematical laws. From the way planets orbit stars to the behavior of the tiniest particles, everything conforms to complex mathematical equations. But why should this be the case? Why does the fabric of the universe follow mathematical laws with such extraordinary precision? To an unbiased observer, the universe might appear less like a chaotic cosmic sprawl and more like a beautifully coded software program. Just as software developers use code to create virtual worlds governed by specific rules, could our universe's adherence to mathematical principles be an indication of underlying code dictating the laws of physics? A universe running on lines of complex code could still be one of awe-inspiring grandeur and beauty, filled with galaxies, stars, and life. It might simply mean that these entities, rather than being products of mere chance, are intelligently crafted features of a grand design. The impact of AI and 3D reality generation. We live in an era of exponential technological growth, where the boundaries between reality and virtuality are becoming increasingly blurred. Artificial intelligence has been evolving at a breakneck pace, learning to mimic human behavior, comprehend complex tasks, and even generate creative content. Alongside this, 3D reality generation technology has been making leaps and bounds, allowing us to create virtual environments that are almost indistinguishable from the real world. Now, let's extend these advancements into the far future. If a civilization, ours or another, were to continue this trajectory of technological evolution, what might they achieve in 1,000, 1,000,000, or 1,000,000,000 years? Could they not create a simulation so advanced that the inhabitants of the simulation are sentient, experiencing a reality they believe to be genuine? If we, a relatively young civilization in the grand cosmic timescale, can already create near-lifelike virtual realities, it's not beyond reason to propose that a more advanced civilization could create a simulation as complex and expansive as our universe. Such a civilization, equipped with unimaginably powerful quantum computers, could program every atom, every particle, every force in this universe, making the simulated reality indistinguishable from a real one. This isn't just an intriguing thought experiment. It's a proposition backed by some of the most brilliant minds of our time, such as Elon Musk, who famously stated that the odds are in favor of us living in a simulation. Human perception, a window to manipulation. Our perception of reality is a complex interplay of sensory input and cognitive processing. Through our five senses, we receive an immense amount of data, which our brains interpret to form our experience of the world. However, this system, as sophisticated as it is, has its limitations. For instance, our vision is confined to a narrow band of the electromagnetic spectrum. Our sense of hearing is restricted to a limited range of frequencies. And our minds can only process a finite amount of information at any given moment. Beyond these bounds, our reality ceases to exist. This raises a compelling question: could an advanced AI manipulate these limitations to create a believable, albeit simulated reality? Imagine an AI capable of processing at a level far beyond human capabilities. Such an AI could manipulate our sensory inputs or even directly interfere with our cognitive processing, creating a reality that we perceive as authentic. We could be sitting in a simulated landscape, experiencing emotions, making decisions, and building relationships, all under the influence of a manipulative AI. This isn't to suggest a dystopian scenario where our senses are tricked into experiencing a false reality. Instead, it's a theoretical exploration of how an advanced AI could interface with human perception to craft an entirely simulated universe. Aliens or an ancient Earth civilization. If we entertain the possibility that we are living in a simulation, an inevitable question arises: who is running the show? Who are the architects of this bewilderingly complex universe? There are countless hypotheses, some of which may sound shocking, but are worth considering. Firstly, we could hypothesize that an extraterrestrial civilization is responsible. These advanced beings, potentially millions or even billions of years ahead of us technologically, could have designed and executed a simulation as intricate as our universe. On the other hand, it could be an advanced civilization from our own planet that's behind the simulation. Could there have been a civilization on Earth, perhaps millions of years ago, which achieved technological feats far beyond our current understanding? If such a civilization did exist, they could have created a simulation before they faced extinction, and we could be the inhabitants of that simulation. The unprovable non-simulation hypothesis. As we delve deeper into the possibility of living in a simulation, we encounter a rather disconcerting philosophical conundrum: there's no concrete way to prove that we are not living in a simulation. The argument unfolds much like the philosophical problem of solipsism, the idea that only one's own mind is sure to exist. Just as you cannot definitively prove the existence of other minds apart from your own, you cannot categorically prove the non-simulated nature of our reality. For instance, consider the empirical evidence we use to understand the world around us. We gather data, conduct experiments, and derive theories. However, all this information is processed through our senses and interpreted by our brain. If our senses and cognition are being controlled within a simulation, then the empirical evidence we rely on can be manipulated and is therefore not a reliable indicator of an objective reality. The unimaginable scale of the universe. Our universe is vast, mind-bogglingly so. There are over 100 billion galaxies, each containing hundreds of billions of stars, all separated by trillions of miles of empty space. Even light, the fastest thing in our universe, takes billions of years to traverse these cosmic distances. But what if the sheer scale of the universe is itself a hint towards our simulated existence? What if the cosmos, with its dizzying array of celestial bodies and infinite expanses, is simply an impressive backdrop programmed into our simulation? Think of it from a computational perspective. In a simulated universe, size and scale are irrelevant. Whether it's a square mile of terrain or an expanse of galaxies stretching billions of light-years, it all boils down to bits of data in a colossal database. The enormity of the universe, therefore, wouldn't pose a problem to an advanced civilization capable of running a cosmic-scale simulation. Furthermore, an enormous universe adds depth and realism to the simulation, creating an environment so vast that it seems impossible to be anything but real. It might even serve a practical purpose, discouraging the inhabitants of the simulation from realizing their world's true nature, due to the daunting scale of exploration and comprehension required. The multiverse theory and nested simulations. A final, staggering consideration to bolster our simulation hypothesis is the idea of nested simulations within a multiverse framework. If we accept that we might be living in a simulation, then it's reasonable to assume that the beings running our simulation could themselves be in a simulation. This could extend indefinitely, creating an infinite cascade of simulations within simulations, an idea both exhilarating and disconcerting. Further adding to this complexity, we might not be the only simulation run by our architects. They could have created countless other simulations, each with its own set of physical laws and properties, leading to a vast multiverse of simulated realities. This multiverse could serve various purposes: a cosmic petri dish for studying the emergence of life, a playground for examining different physical laws, or even an ethical sandbox, exploring the development of civilizations under various conditions. The possibilities are as infinite as the potential number of simulations. While we might never be able to prove or disprove these ideas, considering them expands our understanding of the potential nature of our existence. We are not simply pondering whether we live in a simulated universe, we are exploring the possibility that we are part of an extraordinary chain of realities, a single link in an infinite, cosmic recursive process. Whether you find this idea enlightening or terrifying, one thing is certain: it is a testament to the sheer audacity of our quest for understanding, pushing the boundaries of our imagination as we strive to uncover the true nature of our reality.